Hey guys, how's it going? This is DJ Facing20 here, and I'm back. Wait a minute, it's Halloween. This doesn't feel right. I got it. That feels a lot better, doesn't it? So, yeah, let's just go over what I always do. My last record for last week was really good week last week. I did really decent last week. I'm so happy with the results for last week. But, I mean, there's some games, Carolina game I changed during, but that doesn't count. Again, I'm just saying I did really well last week. So, let's get into our first game. The first game got the bye week is taking on the Cleveland Browns. And this one, I'm going to have to go with the bye week. The bye week seems very, very good this year. And I'm not going to pick the Browns to win a game, so I think the bye week beats the Browns this week. Now, let's go to our first game. We got the Buffalo Bills versus the New York Jets. See, Buffalo came off of a good win against the Raiders, while the Jets came off of a close loss against the Atlanta Falcons. This one, I'm going to have to go with the Buffalo Bills. They're just looking at a really good team right now. Good division so far, though. This is going to be great competition, but I think the Buffalo Bills will win this game. Next game, we got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the New Orleans Saints. Tampa Bay coming off of a bad loss to the Panthers, and you got the Saints coming off a win against the Chicago Bears. Saints running game is still looking pretty good. Drew Brees is playing really well, and you got the Buccaneers, who they're maybe a little bit shaky right now. I'm going to have to go in this one. I'll go with the Saints. Saints have been on a roll. Very, very well played this past week. Going to be a good game, but I think Drew Brees and the Saints will win this game. This game got the Atlanta Falcons versus the Carolina Panthers. The Falcons coming off that win against the Jets, while the Panthers came off a win against Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Both teams look pretty decent. However, this is going to be a tough game to decide. I'm going to go with the Atlanta Falcons. This is going to be, I think, one of the best games this week, possibly. But I do think that the Atlanta Falcons have a slight edge over Carolina this week. Next game, we got the Los Angeles Rams versus the New York Giants. New York 1-6, coming off of a bye week, versus the Rams, who I think also were on a bye week. I think this game will go to the Rams. Rams are just a better overall team right now. I don't think there's any way the Giants win. Again, not a lot of weapons for them, so I think the Rams will beat the Giants pretty solidly. Next, we got the Baltimore Ravens versus the Titans. The Ravens are looking outstanding. Their defense 40-0 against Miami Dolphins. Against the Titans team, who even though they have a decent record, I still think they're in a pretty bad division, which is the reason they're winning. I'm going to have to give it to the Ravens purely on defense. I think the defense will stop the offense of the Titans this week, and I think the Ravens will be on top. Next game, we got the Bengals versus the Jaguars. Bengals coming off of a close win to the Indianapolis Colts, coming off of that interception at the end that really put them overhead. This game may be a little bit closer, but I'm going to have to go. I don't know. This is going to be a really tough one to pick this week, but I will pick the Jacksonville Jaguars over the Bengals. It's going to be a tale of a good defense versus decent offense. So I think that Andy Dalton will have troubles this week, and the Jaguars will beat the Bengals. Next game, we got the Denver Broncos versus the Philadelphia Eagles. Philadelphia coming off of another great win against the 49ers, while the Broncos are coming off of their Monday night game against the Chiefs. Again, Trevor Siemian, not so good on the road during games, and you got a Philadelphia team. Great defense will stop the run, and if they're stopping the run and they're making Broncos pass, I think Trevor Siemian will have a little bit of problems there. And I think the Eagles' offense versus the defense of the Broncos may be a good matchup to see, but I think that the Eagles will top the Broncos in this game, going up to 8-1. Next, we got the Colts versus the Texans. Colts coming off that loss, close loss against the Bengals, while the Houston Texans coming off that last-second loss to the Seahawks. Now, I said Deshaun Watson would have problems against Seahawks, but I think that could prove that he's not a matchup-based quarterback, and he's a true, solid quarterback. I think he could be top 5, maybe even next year. I think Deshaun Watson has a great game in this one, and the Texans blow out the Indianapolis Colts. Next, we got the Washington Redskins versus the Seattle Seahawks. Washington coming off of the loss to the Cowboys. Seahawks coming to that last-second pull-ahead touchdown by Russell Wilson to Jimmy Graham to beat the Houston Texans. I think this game will go down to more of the defense aspect. Maybe Russell Wilson will have a good game. I think this one will be close, but I think the Seahawks pull ahead of the Redskins in this one. This game could go down to the last-second play as well, but I do think that in the end that the Seahawks will top the Redskins. Next game, we got the Cardinals versus 49ers. Cardinals plagued by injuries. You know, they have Adrian Peterson, which is good. I'm not sure their back is going to do much, but against the 49ers team who is still looking for a win, coming off of that loss against the Eagles, I think that it's going to be tough. Good defense in the Cardinals. Actually, you know what, I'm going to go with a surprise win this week. 49ers will get their first win this week. I think 49ers will beat the Cardinals, getting their first win. I just think the Cardinals are a little bit too plagued with injuries. It's going to have to rely heavily on the defense to see what they can do. If the defense stops, then I can see the Cardinals winning, but I just think that the 49ers will get their first win this week. Next game, we got great game, Chiefs versus the Cowboys. Chiefs come off their game against the Broncos, and the Cowboys coming off their win against the Redskins. This game will be another great game. You got a good Chiefs team against a Cowboys team. It's going to be a tough one to decide, but I might go with a shocker on this one. I usually pick the Chiefs because Chiefs are a good team, but I will shock you with the Cowboys beating the Chiefs in this one in Dallas. It's going to be a great game, I think. Ezekiel Elliott may go for another big game. Ezekiel Elliott's been on fire. Hopefully the suspension happens this week. I think the Chiefs could win then, but if it doesn't, I think the Cowboys will beat the Chiefs. So when I made that pick, Ezekiel Elliott still wasn't suspended, but now that he's suspended, I'm going to have to change my pick from the Cowboys winning to the Kansas City Chiefs beating the Cowboys. Ezekiel Elliott's a big loss, and I don't think in 1 week you can really switch over to another running back, even though Morris kind of knows the system. So I think now the Chiefs will beat the Cowboys. Next game, we got our Sunday night game. We got the Oakland Raiders versus the Miami Dolphins. Both teams struggling. Got the Oakland Raiders coming off a loss against the Bills, while the Dolphins just got crushed by the Ravens. You saw all happen in that game. Joe Flacco getting hurt. I think this game may be another one that's maybe a little closer games, but I think in the end, I think the Oakland Raiders will beat the Miami Dolphins in Miami. It's maybe a decent game, but I do think that the Raiders have a little bit slightly of an edge. They're not playing too bad, so I think the Raiders will beat the Miami Dolphins. Now we got the final game of the week, our Monday night game, the Detroit Lions versus the Green Bay Packers. Detroit coming off with a close loss against the Pittsburgh Steelers, and you got the Packers on a bye week. This game is going to be, I think, a decent one, but I still think with the QB injury, the Aaron Rodgers injury to the Packers, it's going to hurt them just a little bit. And I think that the Detroit Lions on Monday night will beat the Green Bay Packers. Hey, and that's all for this week. I want to thank you for all the love and support. Again, we made over 100 subscribers, so thank you for that. So, like, comment, subscribe. Tell me who you picked. Tell me who I should get wrong. Tell me what I did right or wrong. Tell me what you're going to do for Halloween. That's today. And I hope you guys have a great and spooky Halloween.